How's it going, YouTube? It's LB Ninja 7, your resident Mistweaver here, and today I wanted to get into a quick video. Hopefully, this is a quick video because we're all playing Mistweaver wrong. There's no denying the fact that no one is pressing every single correct button at the right time. Maybe once you click Rising Sun Kick and Vivify was the correct button to press. Basically, how you can maximize your healing 100%, and hopefully, we can go over some abilities and figure out the best way to do that today in today's video. In the majority of cases with new players, I see them thinking that Mistweavers can only Mistweave and Fistweavers can only Fistweave, but the whole point is that you're weaving in and out of each. So you primarily want to do the one that you are prioritizing. So if you're Fistweaving, you do want to Fistweave most of the time. You want to see how much of the healing you can cover while Fistweaving without having to Mistweave. And with Mistweavers, they basically want to Mistweave until they run out of mana. So since most of us are Fistweavers, about 99% of us at this point, let's look at Fistweaving. So in this case, I am at no threat of dying. I am not going to die, and this is a very, very small case scenario where I'm fighting against ads. I can do all the healing to myself with Fistweaving, so I'm going to do that. If I can cover it with Fistweaving, I'm going to do that. If another ad was going to come up to me, if we were in a boss fight and I know a big slam's about to come up, and I know that I can't do it with Fistweaving, I would have to pull off and do Mistweaving. I would have to run away from the ads and just Mistweave. If you know you can't do it with Fistweaving, do the healing with Mistweaving. So we're going to pull off. We're going to target our tank first, probably. Enveloping Mist, Soothing Mist, all that good stuff, Vivify, and hit the next people. Also, one thing to note is Renewing Mist. With the more of them out that you have, the higher value Vivify gets. So yes, Rising Sun Kick is our highest value button to press in Mythic Plus and Raid at basically all times because we have Rising Mist. It's our biggest Ancient Teachings button to press. But when we have about 3 or 4 or 5 Renewing Mist out, Vivify now becomes our best button to press. So if everyone's at like 80% or below health, or there's multiple people that need healing basically, especially in Raid when you have that ticking damage starting to kind of overwhelm you guys, think to yourself, do I need to still be Fistweaving or should I pull off and start Vivifying? Will I get more value Vivifying? Count your Renewing Mist real quick and see if Vivify is more valuable. Now, Rising Mist does not do a ton of healing. It adds up over a fight, but it only hits for about 1,000 healing on each target. So yeah, we'll have Essence Font on. I like to say about 12 people because that's usually the average that I get when I press the button. We'll have a couple Renewing Mists out. But that's only 1,000. And yes, every Rising Sun Kick will do about 25,000 with Ancient Teachings on one target, and then 1,000 to about 15 targets with the Rising Mist. And yes, that is a lot of value, but if we Vivify, we're getting, let's see, Vivify heal would be 6,000, so it's not a lot, but when you add that up, when you have it on a couple targets, it'll cleave and hit multiple targets and be a really good button to press. How I like to do it is I like to always keep Renewing Mist charges on cooldown, see how the cooldown is ticking because I have one applied. I like to always make sure that those are applied, or at least I don't have 2 full charges like I do now. If I have 2 charges, I'll go ahead and I'll press one. I'll sometimes press both at the same time. I just try to keep those on cooldown at all times. Same with Essence Font, same with Refreshing Jade Wind. Especially in Raid, you want all 3 of those hots out on as many people as possible because you have more targets for that Rising Mist to add up and give you more healing. Alright, another time that it is 100% fine and definitely viable and the correct choice to pull off from Fistweaving and start Mistweaving is when you have Yu'lon out. As you see, Yu'lon, or as you know, Yu'lon will apply Enveloping Breath whenever you cast Enveloping Mist on about 5 targets. So you want to pull off and start spamming Enveloping Mist. It's really that simple. Enveloping Breath will enhance all of your healing to those targets. So the most efficient button that you can press at that time while Yu'lon is out will about 9 times out of 10 be Enveloping Mist. So right once you summon Yu'lon, you'll want to pull away and start casting Enveloping Mist. Now to keep efficiency, you'll only want to cast about 4 at a time because that'll hit all 20 raid members with Enveloping Breath, and then you'll want to start pressing your other buttons. So at that time, probably Essence Font's off cooldown. You'll get that enhanced healing from the mastery proc from every bolt. Refreshing Jade one will probably be off cooldown. Rising Suncake will be off cooldown. So you'll have a lot of buttons suppressed, and it'll let all those cooldowns come back. But then after a couple seconds, after you press all those buttons again, you'll still have Yulon out, and you'll want to start spamming Enveloping Mist again to start reapplying those Enveloping Breaths. So it's really like an ebb and flow kind of thing. You want to fist weave until you have to pull off, because the better choice is to start Mistweaving. And usually that happens when a lot of damage is coming out, when you're starting to get overwhelmed with fist weaving. Now, in Mythic Plus, I will say about 9 times out of 10, you don't get overwhelmed. A lot of times you'll think you're about to get overwhelmed, and then if you would have just stayed on the ads and kept fist weaving, you probably could have overcome it, because in Mythic Plus, fist weaving is way more efficient. If you heal one member for 25,000 off a Rising Sun Kick, that's 1/5 of your total health in the party healed. Whereas if you heal one person in raid, that is 1/20th, so about 5% of the total healing that needs to be done at a time. So it is so much more efficient in a party to just stay in. Try as hard as you can to heal up with your fist weaving, but then it's always okay to pull off. Always know that it is an option. You don't have to stick in, and you also don't have to pull off whenever it gets scary. And a lot of that comes with practice. So I still would make a ton of mistakes last season, but I feel like now I'm kind of to the point where I can really judge whether or not I can stay in and fist weave and heal up everyone, or whether I need to bounce back and start healing. And I think that that is the best way to improve as a Mistweaver, and especially as a brand new Mistweaver, you need to understand that it is a weaving thing. You weave in and out of melee. When things get rough in melee, if there's a lot of puddles, that's a good time to bounce back too. So hopefully you guys learned something, and hopefully you learned that it is okay to weave in and out of melee and start pressing all of our buttons. I know a lot of them are very mana inefficient, and a lot of them are just really good. We have a lot of good buttons, so it's hard to distinguish or determine which button is the right one to press at all times. So hopefully this helped you guys, helped your decision making. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. I just want to let you guys know I am currently getting married. I am posting this. I have it set to post on my date of wedding. So, you know, I love doing this. I wanted to include my wedding into my YouTube, because my favorite hobby mixed with, you know, probably my best day ever is just, to me, that makes sense. So leave your comments down below on if you learned anything, if you have any more input, if you can think of another case where it is okay to pull off, or when there's a button that's just better than another one. That's not always true. Let me know down in the comments, and definitely hit subscribe. We are at 679 subscribers as of posting this video, or as of making this video, and I would love to get to 1,000 before Dragonflight. That would be huge. So if you're a Mistweaver, if you want to support Mistweaver content, there's not a lot out there. This is the best way to do so. Hit subscribe, hit like. They're free buttons to click. They help me out a ton. So I will see you guys after my wedding. Thank you so much for watching this far, and take care.